starting a second chance. So what my business is I sell my own original artwork on note cards and prints, and I donate all the proceeds to a local animal nonprofit. So that could be like the Allen County SPCA or Hope for Animals, which are currently now Humane Fort Wayne, or more recently I donated to the Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control Shelter. So I started my business.
Isn't that good?
There it goes. So in February of 2018, I started my business, and at that point I had been painting for about 4 years, and we had also adopted our dog Roxy from a family that could no longer afford to keep her just because of growing financial issues. And so this really opened my eyes to a problem that a lot of families deal with, which is just struggling to pay for the adequate health care for your pet. And really that can be overwhelming because costs add up very quickly with vet clinics and pet stores and just buying all the adequate things that you need to care for your pet well. And at this point, as I began to understand the problem more so within my community, I really wanted to find a way to help alleviate this for a lot of families. So what I did is I combined my passion for art and also my interest for animal welfare in order to found a second chance and try to impact people and help alleviate what I saw was happening in the local area and also just generally. And so originally I actually started out by just packaging things by hand and printing out my artwork on note cards and prints at my home and delivering it in person on a weekly basis. And a lot of this was done by word of mouth, just having family, friends, my parents just spread the word at their workplace, and also just getting those orders in person, fulfilling them on a weekly basis. But by the end of the year, around 2019, the demand kind of began to die down, and I wanted to find a way to spread the word about my cause in a more efficient manner. So I started setting up for these farmers markets and artist fairs in the summers of 2019 and 2020. And so far I've actually attended 25 of them. You've probably attended a few of them as well. Wyatt and I farmers market on Bar Street every Saturday, the summer market at Solomon Farms. I've done the JA Young Entrepreneur Marketplace, which some of you might actually be part of soon. I've done, the ACPL Artist Fair and quite a few more events. And with this, what I had to do, because I was running a cause in which I was donating all my proceeds, was I had to find a way to continue my cause without depleting any of the funds that I would have otherwise donated. So what I did is I approached a lot of local businesses and I asked them for their support, because a lot of them actually had similar interests and supported similar causes that I did. And a few of these would, of course, be Junior Achievement, the Jorgensen YMCA, Sweetwater, Subaru Fort Wayne, and they were also very generous and supportive in sponsoring my booth, in allowing me to, for example, buy the tent, buy the tables that I took around with me to attend these events. And in addition to that, I also tried to reuse as many items as possible. For example, the card holder that I use at all of these events was actually one that was going to be thrown out by a local Hallmark store. And in this way, I also continued to be able to maintain my cause. And in addition to these events, I also made sure to have an online shop on Etsy, which is at etsy.com/shop/asecondancefw, and this just allowed me to reach a wider audience and more people. It allowed me to have a way to sell my products that was cheap and easy to maintain, and it was also great because it gave me the ability to advertise online to just a general audience. And it was a perfect way for me to sell my products online because I could easily present my products with just a simple listing photo, and it was fairly easy to ship long distances. So with these ways of selling my products and promoting my cause, I was able to make a few donations over the last few years, and that first year, just from in-person sales, I was able to sponsor a vaccination clinic at the Allen County SPCA, which reached 155 local pets, And I also donated a portion of that funds to their Pet Promises program, which is a program that provides in-home pet care to the elderly and to those with disabilities, which I thought was a really amazing thing to do. And that second year, I was able to also raise $1,500 to sponsor another vaccination clinic, this time at Hope for Animals, and that reached 200 local pets. And then in March of this year, I was able to raise a total of $2,000 to make a matching donation campaign at the Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control, which raised over $4,100 for their Angel Fund. And that fund goes towards giving heartworm treatment to dogs which come into the shelter with heartworm, and it just makes the dogs more adoptable to people looking for a pet. And so to date, I have sold, over 2,200 cards. And in addition to that, I also have a couple other products and services that I have been expanding my business to continue promoting my cause, and that includes commissioned artwork. So in the summer of 2019, as I was attending these summer fairs and summer markets, I noticed that a lot of people were interested in having custom portraits and commissioned artwork done throughout the summertime, and so I was able to actually paint a watercolor portrait of these two Siamese cats for a man I met at the Bar Street Market, for example. And I also painted a portrait of my neighbor's two dogs in watercolor as well. And then this summer, I actually had the opportunity to be commissioned by Bob Roman Subaru Fort Wayne in a public art campaign sponsored by Humane Fort Wayne. So this bench that you see here is actually part of this campaign that Humane Fort Wayne is doing as a fundraiser, similar to the mastodons around town. There's actually one right out in front of the building, and it's going to be put around the city as part of a kind of art sponsorship by the Humane Fort Wayne. And this bench you see here was actually sponsored and commissioned by Subaru Fort Wayne. So that just really goes to show that as you find your passions and as you promote what you are interested about, you can really connect with not only other people, but other organizations in your community to also help promote that same cause. So Subaru Fort Wayne is really supportive of Humane Fort Wayne, and their Subaru Love Promise campaign has really raised thousands of dollars for the Allen County SPCA and similar organizations. And of course, I couldn't have done any of this without the support and generosity of my parents, my friends, my family, and also local organizations and businesses that sponsored and supported me, such as Bob Roman Subaru Fort Wayne, Sweetwater, Back and Balance, James Godet, Blick Art Materials, market goers that attended and visited my booth every week, Junior Achievement, Three Rivers Art Center for Kids, and also the Jorgensen YMCA. So these are all organizations and local businesses that really found alignment in what I was doing and what my business stood for. Again, I think just in general, social entrepreneurship is identifying what you are personally interested in, what affects you, what you are passionate about, and kind of evaluating what is within your ability to continue promoting that cause, and also getting those around you interested in that same cause. In my own business personally, I was interested in trying to connect other people through my cause and getting them to find that passion within themselves to also have interest and support this same journey that I was going through. So again, you can visit me at etsy.com/shop/secondchancefw or contact me anytime at secondchancefw@gmail.com. Thank you all for your time, and I would love to answer your questions.
Yeah, we usually have some good questions. I know you're not in your books with you, but what kind of questions? A lot of animal lovers here, so.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
That's a good question. In 10 years, I would see myself continuing to expand my business, continuing to have more people involved in this. I would love to get more people such as you, your age group, in high school even, get more people to contribute to something like this, especially artists or any other interests that could possibly continue supporting these types of causes. Yes?
How did you get yourself started with this?
Yeah, so what I really started with is just starting small, really. I started with the note cards, I started with the prints, and just printing those and making those and packaging those within my own home. And then as I continued to expand and find other businesses that were willing to support and sponsor me, I was able to use those sponsorships and that support to make everything so all funds would go towards these local animal organizations. Yep.
So are you nonprofit or profitable?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you say that again? So since I donate all of my proceeds to local animal organizations, I don't have any profit from this business, but everything that I sell, all those cards and statistics that I listed, that all goes towards donating to a charity or an organization. And since this is like social entrepreneurship and really trying to make social change within your community, that's kind of the focus of what I'm trying to do with my business. Yes?
So if you could be able to have more money to expand your business, then what would you do?
I would definitely put a lot more money towards advertising online or just advertising in general, because that can be a great way to get the word out to people who won't necessarily visit farmers markets or events or don't even live in your local area. So that's something that I would love to do to get a more widespread impact and expand my general customer base. Yep.
If you could start your business all over again, what would you change about it?
That's an awesome question. I definitely think that I would, actually, I think I wouldn't change anything, because everything that I did, every decision that I made, even if I found that, oh, I should have redone this, or I made a mistake about this, I learned from it every time. So I really appreciated making those mistakes and reevaluating what I was doing, because it allowed me to see that in the future I would do this situation differently, or I would take this opportunity or find this opportunity more quickly. Anyone else? Yep.
How do you define
I think success evolves as your business grows. So, for example, success in the beginning of what I was doing was just selling that first card, selling that first print, seeing that people were interested in my business and were supportive of my cause. As I continue to grow, I would probably define success as continued interest and continuing to expand and find new ways to support these causes every year.
Any other questions, guys? Madeline, thank you so much. I appreciate your time coming out and talking to us.
Thank you all.
So can we say thank you?
Thank you.